Hi everyone, welcome to another video. As promised, this time we're going to be looking at the Blackpool Central Pier, which is in the centre of the promenade, to cut a long story short. The success of the North Pier prompted the formation of the Blackpool South Jetty Company 1 year later in 1864. Impressed with the construction of the Blackpool Pier, the company hired the same contractor, Richard Laidlaw and Son of Glasgow, for the project. This time, however, the company used the designs of Lieutenant Colonel John Isaac Mawson rather than those of Eugenius Birch. When the pier was opened on the 30th of May 1868, it was 503 yards in length, 131 yards of which was the landing jetty for use at low tide. The first manager of the pier was Robert Bickerstaff, coxswain of the first Blackpool lifeboat. Incidentally, Blackpool's lifeboat station is located next to the Central Pier. From the start, the new pier's emphasis was on fun rather than the genteel relaxation provided at North Pier for those sorts. In the early days, fun was provided mainly by dancing facilities, but in the 20th century, roller skating was introduced along with fairground rides and amusement machines. Steamboat excursions departed from the landing jetty as they did from the North Pier. The dance halls became less popular after the Second World War, and the facilities were adapted into a theatre, bars and amusement arcades by the 1970s. The Pierhead Theatre was modernised in 1986 and became known as Peggy Sue's Showboat. A striking addition came in 1990 when a 33-metre-high Ferris wheel was erected, a half-scale reference to the Victorian attraction that had been part of the Winter Gardens complex a century earlier. The pier, now known as South Pier, was built 30 years later, at around 3:30 a.m. on the 17th of July 2020, just a week after the pier reopened from the first COVID-19 lockdown. A fire broke out and destroyed a fairground ride. As with most piers, Central Pier was constructed mostly of cast iron with wooden decking. The piles on which the structure rests were driven using the screw pile method pioneered by Eugenius Birch. This involved twisting screw-tipped cast iron piles down through the sand until they hit the bedrock. The materials and building techniques were similar to those used for North Pier, but the structure of Central is a little more delicate in appearance. The pier has suffered relatively little damage save for fires in 1964 and 1973, which gutted the theatre buildings, which is more than can be said for the North Pier. The main structural alterations have been the removal of the obsolete 131 yards low tide jetty in 1975 and obviously the construction of the Ferris wheel earlier mentioned. The addition of the wheel required the midsection of the pier to be strengthened to cope with the extra weight. The Central Pier caught fire in July 2020, destroying a fairground ride and damaging an engineering shed halfway along the pier. Current attractions include Pirates Bay Family Bar, Blackpool Big Wheel, Peter Sedgwick's Fun Fair, Central Pier Family Entertainment Centre and Old Time Portrait Studio. So I'm awfully sorry folks, that is the history of the Central Pier. The video is a lot more shorter given the fact that a lot less boats have crashed into this one. And obviously the North one, if you've listened to that, they must have had a lot of blind sailors in the local area. Anyway, I do hope that you have enjoyed the video. Please do like, share and subscribe if you have. And take care of yourselves until the next video. Goodbye for now.